Okay. Hello. Welcome to Barely a Destiny Show I almost said 24. Wrong. Episode 14. Um, it's the show where we barely talk about Destiny. Today, I think we really are barely going to talk about Destiny because there's nothing going on.
Yep.
So let's start off. I'm here as always with Xanafan711. How you doing, Steve?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. Got to wake up and take some pictures of Iris, and that was real cute. She got a little fox outfit that my
Oh
mom
yeah.
made. Our mom. Hey, look at that.
Oh yeah.
We also have Slapshot Scott. Scott, how you doing, bud?
Doing all right. Didn't get to play a lot of Destiny this week. Been busy with work and stuff. But on the flip side, Owen is starting to hold his head up, and he actually found his voice, so he's starting to talk to us, which is just real awkward screaming. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's not all crying anymore. Now they do the ah.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
it's super fun, and it's way more fun to hold your kid when they can hold their head up because you don't have to support them the whole time. You can one arm it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
He actually does this crazy head banging thing where he holds his head up and looks around, and then out of nowhere he just goes, and you have to catch him before he falls. So
Yeah.
he's starting to track objects with his eyes too. So it's he's looking up at me, and then I wave at him or I move something or he sees something move, and he's like,
Yeah,
check
dude.
it out.
It's so crazy. They're just becoming people.
It's weird.
Ugh.
I have cats.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you want to look at something real crazy, pull up a newborn picture of him and stack it next to the picture of him now. You'll be like, holy shit, he's so much bigger.
I was just saying that to somebody else. I said I pulled up pictures on my phone the other day of when we first, when he was first born, when we were in the hospital, and he's fucking huge now. He's almost 13 pounds.
Ugh. So I already introduced us. Real quick, housekeeping stuff. Send us emails at barelydestinyshow@gmail.com. Just ask us anything. It's a segment we're
Yeah.
trying to start. It's a slow start. We got one today. Not an email, but a tweet. You can also tweet at us at barelyads on Twitter. The band of the week this week is Captain Avalanche. It's a little side project that me and my buddy Bill did a long time ago, but we'll get to that at the end of the show. Real quick, if you guys could go to http://www.destinycontentcreators.com/suggest/ actually just probably Google destinycontentcreators.com, go to the suggest page, and type in our name. We are not on there, but we would really like to be. It's just a list of content creators for Destiny. So go ahead, throw us a suggestion, say something nice about us, and while you're out there saying stuff nice about us, go on to Apple Podcasts because it's not iTunes anymore, and leave us a review. Reviews very much help us to get visible. I think when you type in Destiny on Apple Podcasts, we still don't show up. So,
Oh jeez.
yeah, and we have Destiny in the freaking name.
Yep.
But if you do type Barely a Destiny Show in the search, it will show up. But just the word Destiny, we're not there yet. We would like to be. So, yeah. Leave us a review.
Leave us a review.
Leave us a rating. Do it on Podbean as well. I know I talked last week about trying to get us onto Google Play. Still trying to figure that out. They have a very weird way of formatting your RSS feed. So, also, if you can help with that, hit us up because I don't really know what I'm doing as far as that goes. I'm a noob with coding. Yeah. Speaking of coding, I had to do a bunch of fucking coding kind of stuff in Linux today. I'm learning how to do Linux.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Wow.
Oh, God, I hate Linux. Sudo reboot now. That's the only one I can remember.
I actually had to take a class in that in college. It was Comp 101 or something, and it should have been two classes, I think, but it was split. It was the book part was all the history of computers and information systems, which was terrible, and then it was the Linux part, which was all the labs, which I liked. And my professor was crazy about it because he was, of course, the dean of the department, and he would on quizzes ask us from direct quotes from the book. So it wasn't even anything that would be relevant or related. It wasn't like, how do you perform this command? You're going to need this in your job, or what is this? It's like, who said this back in 1991 about the internet?
Oh.
And it was like some obscure shit in the book. And like, I didn't fucking read it. I don't know. I was busy doing the lab.
Fucking college.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess let's start with Destiny stuff.
Yeah.
Did you guys play this week? Did you guys play other games this week if you didn't play Destiny?
I played a little bit of Destiny, did a little streaming, mostly Crucible. Did Vault of Glass last night. We couldn't get through the Atheon challenge, and it wasn't the first timer, or me, who was also a first timer on Atheon challenge. I beat it, but not the challenge. Yeah, all the veterans were screwing up in like sequential order over and over and over again, and then they were all about to quit, so we just killed him and didn't do the challenge. But it's cool. I got 2 corrective measures.
Ugh.
That
Oh, I got a full set on my hunter.
Nice.
Full.
Oh, I got 2 pieces of armor too from Templar.
No
Both
shit.
boots.
Oh, I haven't gotten boots yet. My Titan needs boots.
Both boots.
I will say I am super fucking proud that I got my fucking scarf for my hunter. Finally got my legendary scarf, and I can play my hunter again because I hate cloaks. I want to be different running around. So I look so good wearing my little scarf and my Vault of Glass gear. I think I just need to ornament the chest piece. That's the last thing.
Nice.
I have had the scarf. My hunter's my scrubbiest character.
And you already had it?
Yeah, I've had it for a while. I have both scarves.
I have the makeshift
saved
scarf
them.
still.
Yeah, I have both of them.
Oh, nice.
I played Vault twice this week, and Friday we got to Atheon and we were like, so we gonna do the challenge mode? And everyone was like, nope, fuck that. So
everyone wants the legendary ones. No one cares about the adept.
Yeah, because
in that raid.
Well, yeah, because you'd want to be able to use sleeper. That's
Yeah.
I did get. I think I have every gun now from Vault of Glass. All the adepts, everything. Because I finally got my adept Praetus timepiece, and I think that's all I was really missing. Oh, and I got my Praetus Revenge last night, the best scout rifle in the game.
Sweet.
There you go.
Yeah, it was
I didn't get to play. I had. I played Destiny this week. Got my weeklies done. We were supposed to do Vault on Friday, but our raid team kind of fell on its face. One of our team members had some kid issues, so she had to bow out, which I can't fault her for. Real life and family always comes first. And Kendra's one of the people who's always there. Like, if she says she's in, she's in. She's never going to ghost you and just peace like early. So her son was just having a rough day. So that kind of left me and the 2 other guys, Gray Fox and Deathstroke, and Sire's a webhead. So they played the Nightfall for like an hour and a half, and then they finally beat it. Eric, or Sire's webhead, he had to go to bed because he had to work early in the morning, so we tried the Nightfall and failed it miserably.
What's the Nightfall this week?
It's Omnigul, right?
It's Omnigul with grounded, and there's no burns or anything, so it's like
that.
match game or something. Yeah, stupid me. I'm just like, no, it'll be fine. I'm going to be a bubble titan, and I'll go in and just drop my bubble, and we just got fucking wrecked. And let me tell you guys, if you don't 3-cycle her in this new one, they send out Swordbearer Knights. They're red bars, but they still have more health than the other ones, and they will fuck you up because they caught me and Deathstroke every single time. I'm like, I got an armor bubble. We're good. Knight charges in, kills 2 of us with 1 sword flip. Fuck. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to go Blessings. Did it again. Killed us. I tried everything from Sleeper
hard.
Simulant. Yeah, it was a pain in the dick. I mean, it was one of those things where I'm just like, I got to the end. I'm just like, guys, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. This is not a raid. I'm done. And Deathstroke's like, I got to get up early. It's like, fuck this, man.
And the last modifier is Brawler, which is useless.
I actually saw that, and I'm like, I wonder if I use Dark Drinker, if it's going to do anything. And so we tried this strat where Gray Fox was on his hunter, so he'd tether her. And then I'd drop a bubble with Blessings, and charge her with Dark Drinker and then R2 the fuck out of her, I managed to take out like a third of her life, like bring down her shield and take out probably a quarter of her life bar with 1 or 2 swipes. But as soon as that tether wore off, she fucking ruined me. It was just instant Guardian down, so it didn't really work.
So you're saying this week's Nightfall is a drastic change from last week's Nightfall, where you could just melt the shit out of that saber.
Yep.
Oh, God, yeah.
That was so easy.
That was like the easiest Nightfall I've done in so long. I think we beat it in like 8 minutes.
I'm kind of bummed because I didn't get to play it. I tried to solo it Monday night, and I, of course, didn't because I was soloing the first part and was Solar Burn, and they sent out those dregs with the shotguns. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to get my 150 kills bounty, farm this, and try to move on. I was at 142 kills, and then I was listening for laundry and the washing machine dings. I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. So I set my Guardian to dance, right? So my Titan's standing on top of the thing before you get your Ghost to stand it, and he's dancing. Yeah. I come back, kick me to orbit.
Oh,
man.
I've done that for 10 minutes solid before, and it hasn't kicked me to orbit because it's a Nightfall. I think it kicks you to orbit. I was like, son of a bitch.
That sucks. So let's see what else we got for Destiny stuff today. So Steve and I were talking about like crafting earlier this week. We were hanging out on May the 4th. Happy Star Wars Day. That was this week, right?
Yeah, that was this week.
I was like, wait a second, did we do a podcast before? Never mind. So we're talking about crafting, and Steve, why don't you kind of say what you had your idea for?
All right, so basically in Destiny 2, I feel like we're kind of going to be on the lam trying to reestablish like a home base, like more wilderness, less, collected guardians, we'll be out and about. So I think it'd be really neat if they incorporated something like crafting. I don't mean like go farm nodes and then you use the nodes to make like leather and metal and then you use that to make your piece. I'm talking like you can find like pieces of the past that can go together to create guns or armor. And they could do it similar to like the sleeper quest because that's like an actual quest, but there's no quest. You don't have a quest in your book. It's just there. So I think it would be really neat, and it would offer a lot more exploration in Destiny. Because then, what if you might be the first person to find out how to make a gun. And then you have to either teach it to everybody else how to do it or whatever. But like that's just pretty neat to be able to do that.
Think about that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Teaching other people how to make the gun.
I like that. I'd like too if they left less of it up to RNG. Like the new Thorn quest was great because they tied in the lore, and you have to go do like the summoning pit strike with Fogoth in order to get it. So like if you're following the Rez Lazir storyline, that's where he encounters the wizard, and I thought that was really cool. But at the same time, it's like I got mine fairly quick, and I wasn't that big on Thorn. I'm just like, it's a thing in the book. But a lot of people I knew really wanted Thorn, like a lot for some reason, and they had to wait. The people who, of course, wanted it the most had to wait the longest for the quest to pop. So
yeah. So,
sorry, one of my father-in-law's clients just came in.
That's cool.
Sorry, what were we talking about? Thorn Quest?
Yeah, that's similar to that or the Sleeper Quest or something. Just a little bit more of an extended way to personalize the game to you. And I think if they wanted to make the crafting thing relevant, they'd have to have some sort of an economy, which they do kind of have the way now, but not player to player. But with crafting, player to player is pretty not necessary, but it's more useful. You just have to have a money sink too. That's always the thing. If there's no money sink, then you got super rich players all the time.
See, here's my problem though with like being able to transfer stuff player to player. I don't like it because it to me fosters an environment of pay me for stuff, pay me real money for stuff, and
That's true. That's very true.
I
Yeah,
don't think that Bungie wants that at all.
I was going to say, if you think paid trials carries are bad now and paid, whatever carries and stuff, because I know, anytime that comes up in certain discussions, like I've said before, I get myself into trouble because of the way I feel about paid carries. But you think that's bad right now? Wait till they do player-to-player stuff. And I like Borderlands. I played a lot of Borderlands. So, like, my friends and I would trade weapons back and forth. If we got double rifles or something, I'd be like, dude, I got this one. I'll give it to you. And we just, like, trade back and forth, which is awesome. And that's the good side of it. The bad side, though, is you're going to have, like, crazy posts on LFG or something. I mean, it's not a given, but I could definitely foresee it where it's like, hey, I've got a black spindle. Pay me $100 for it, and I'll give it to you. Or, like, I crafted this super crazy, like, sleeper simulant variant. Max DPS in a boss fight. PayPal this address $200 and it'll get you one or something like that.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly what I don't want to see. Oh, he's dying. We were talking though about like you're muted.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I muted because I was sneezing.
I thought you said something, and I was like, "Hey, you're muted." We were talking about like putting mods on the guns, and I think it would be cool if they kind of did like the way they do in Horizon, where you put a mod on the gun or whatever on your bow. You put a mod on the gun, and if you want to put another mod in that slot, it's going to destroy the old mod. Because that keeps me from being like, oh, I've got one tier 5 rifle barrel mod, and I'm just going to swap that around to every single gun. I want to be able to like go out and grind for more stuff like that.
See, go ahead, Steve.
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, and I think that would help with like, so like, would you rather grind for a perfect IS Luna, or would you rather grind for an IS Luna frame and then go grind for the perks you want on it? Because I think that would be super sweet. Like you get a frame of a cool gun, and then like I ground out to get a barrel and a mag and this and this.
See, that's actually an interesting concept. I've heard this, and it's funny because when Steve first said crafting, I'm like, no crafting. I can't stand it. Because there was another guy who I was talking to, and basically he was like, I don't want to keep grinding Crucible for a Godroll Matador or Isoluna. He's like, I want to go and get like X amount of materials and make one. And I'm like, that sounds terrible. I was like, why would you do that? Like seriously, it's going to be the sword quest all over again. And everybody knows, how much everybody loves, we talked about that earlier, how much everybody loves the sword quest with grinding those stupid material nodes and like 1 out of 15 or some shit. So like he wanted to do that. And I'm saying, nah, dude, I'm not, that happens. Like I'm probably putting the game down and walking away until they change it. Cause it's a pain in the dick. But that's actually interesting, and it's kind of like an interesting in between. Like you can get an Isoluna or a Matador or something, gun that you're looking for. I don't really know. We'll use like Hung Jury, something like that, because that was one that I was constantly looking for in when I first started playing. And like you can get one, but you can actually go to the gunsmith and buy parts for it. And that those parts will activate like different perks and stuff. So that actually was kind of an interesting thing to me because I know, like we talked a little bit last week, how Borderlands does that, but it's all RNG. They just take all the parts to certain guns and spin them around. And like, if you get a Jacob's barrel with like a Vladov sniper, it's got more range and a higher rate of fire, but not as much impact and some other like weird things like that. But the guns actually look different. So I think that would be actually a really cool thing if you could get like weapons or whatever, and then you can go to the gunsmith or, like wherever Banshee ends up, or if we find a new gunsmith in D2 or something, you basically go there and you're like, I want more range on my, and I mean, you're still going to have like range caps, the weapons that you can't make like a sniper shotgun or some nonsense because that would just be horribly broken.
Yeah.
They could just use what's already in Destiny. You can break down a gun and get weapons parts. And that just make the weapons parts actually useful for something. Like, oh, hey, I've got another fucking, 1,000-yard stare. Something. I don't know. You break it, and you're like, so you break it down because you want the scope that's on it and, like, the barrel that's on it. You can combine that with your Ex Machina, like, trigger and magazine size or something. They just have to make each part have its own little number set or impact on the general number set to the gun.
That could be really cool.
I think it would probably just be a thing like like now, like a perk gives you X amount of stat boost. That'd just be like, okay, so instead of a perk, it's a thing that you put on your gun, and it's literally functions exactly the same, but you just have to go get it. And then that would be cool because you could break it down to like, oh, here's hand cannon barrels, here's shotgun magazines. Here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that I don't want it to be like, all right, go hunt down a mid-impact, high rate of fire, blah blah blah. Like I don't want to have to go track down the specific archetype mod.
And then you
That's
keep getting
so...
the wrong one.
Damn it!
Yeah.
It's low rate of fire. I wanted mid. Ugh, it'd be awful.
Yeah.
So you guys want to talk a little bit? We're totally going to steal something from RNG Cast right now, and that's fire team etiquette. This is a little discussion because they touched on it briefly, but I know Scott, you wanted to do this topic. What you got? Why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so I was listening to RNG Cast this past week, and their guest brought up fire team etiquette. And I thought it was an interesting topic because everybody seems to have different levels of comfort and different like do's and don'ts with it, you know? So I just wanted to see what you guys, like if you have anything on your list, because I know I have a few things that usually that comes up like when we're playing Destiny or something like that.
Well, I have one right off the rip.
Go for it.
People that are watching TV and you can hear their TV coming through the mic, which I know is awful because I do that the most out of anybody. It's just because where I used to play, there's another TV right next to it, and a guy's watching TV, and it just, I don't know. I cannot stand when people do that, and I'm sorry to anyone I've ever played with that happened to.
That happens a lot with me because of a roommate.
Yeah. Also, people that are like screaming in the background, like you can tell, like someone's wife or mom or dad or somebody is screaming at somebody else, and it just makes me feel uncomfortable. Just mute yourself if that's the case.
That's the funniest thing that Buster was talking about when he was on with us. When who is it, Biz or somebody gets into arguments with his wife on mic.
Oh my god, it's so funny on their show though. I can't. Like, it's so
hilarious.
good.
It's so funny.
Oh man. For me, it's just don't whine. Don't complain. Like we're playing a game, we're doing it to have fun. If you're frustrated, we're all frustrated. Like we're feeling it with you. Just if you whine and complain, you're just bringing a negative vibe to the fire team, and you're really not going to get it done at that point. So, yeah, that's the big one for me.
Yeah, like when somebody just like real hard, you're just like, come on, man. Everyone feels that. That's why I'm always trying to be like, guys, we got this. This is the run, baby. This is the one. Right.
Which I was actually in VOG last night with it was me and Toby and 4 randoms, and they were all from Reddit, and I have to say Reddit might be my favorite LFG. I'm gonna have to start using Reddit because everyone was really cool. Everyone was really supportive. We had a first timer, and he did awesome.
Nice.
And everyone was. He even ran the relic twice on Templar just to learn how to do it.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a
Wow.
lot
That's
of
awesome.
fun. So shout out to the Reddit LFG for sure. That was fun.
Dude, I'm such a. Whenever I run Vault now, and we get to the end during the Gatekeeper, I'm always like, "Hey, guys, do you care if I grab the relic and just smash Minotaurs in the back because I'm fucking awful at this part." So like, the past couple times I've done it, I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm not even gonna fuck with it. You guys can go into the teleporters. No." Yeah, we had like a really weird strategy when we did Atheon challenge mode. As soon as the gate opened, everyone ran in, and then you just shot at oracles, and you had to watch. And if your name popped up that you killed an oracle, you leave. That was it.
Yeah,
there was no like order to it at all. It was total chaos.
That's how we were trying to do it, kinda.
It was such chaos. What about you, Scott? What's your fire team etiquette?
All right, so I got a few, and I'm going to try to not put anybody on blast, but there are people who do this, who do things like this a lot, and I'm just like, come on, dude. First one is people who just randomly join up without checking first. And this isn't just mean like when I'm out doing solo patrol or crucible or whatever, like somebody drops in and like, hey, what's up? Like that's cool. I'm talking like there's been a couple times where we're gearing up for a raid. Like there's 5 people, we're all in orbit,
And then
and
somebody jumps in.
and then somebody just randomly drops in. They're like, hey guys, what's up? And we're like, we're about to do a raid, and they're like, oh okay, and they just hang out. It's like,
No,
no,
I mean like we already had a team.
yeah,
Get
we
out.
were waiting for somebody to leave, and they don't leave, so you have to kick them, and it always gets awkward after that.
I had to delete a guy off my friends list because he kept doing that, and I felt so
Oh.
bad. I was just like, "You gotta go,
I know
man."
who you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
gonna call him out because I don't want to be a dick,
No.
but I was just
Yeah, I know.
he had to go.
that's tough. There was another one where like when you're in a raid and somebody keeps dying, own up to your mistakes. That's a big thing.
Mhm.
For me, like I've been in raids with people before where they're just like, well, what the fuck? This is bullshit. It's like, no, dude, we're not gonna be mad if you're like, listen, that was on me. I got fucking nuked by a knight. I was slow on the draw. Like, my bad. Let's do it again. And that always goes better. But it's always weird because people are just like they don't want to get kicked. It's like, guys, if you're with one of my groups, you're probably not going to get kicked unless you're doing the next one, which is being a try hard asshole or being extra salty, like Steve was saying. Like if you're in there, you're just like fucking carrying on and going berserk, whatever. Not trying. Like sometimes you can get people, they talk about it on Crucible Radio to control tilt and stuff like that. Which you got sometimes you got to say, all right, guys, we got this. Like deep breaths, we'll get it. It'll be good. Sometimes that doesn't work with people and they're just raging and stuff. So like that's the only thing that's going to get you booted from a team when you're with me because we usually fuck around a lot. Like we're not serious at all. But we like to get stuff done. And if somebody's just being a complete dick, especially to other fire team members, you're gone.
Oh yeah,
Because
we booted people for that. I think when we played Kingsfall, when that was the weekly, we had to boot somebody because we were just like, yo, this guy's being an asshole.
Yeah. And it sucks too because like my friend Kendra, she does a lot of like LFG Sherpa stuff. Her and Rusty, and her boyfriend, and so I think she was in Kingsfall, and it was the same deal. Some dude was just being an asshole, and he's like blaming everybody else for like shit that he didn't do. I mean, I was in Kingsfall. It's similar to like. I was playing Kingsfall one time, and I was asked to help out. So I was like a newcomer to this party, and they're at Daughters. Don't have Touch of Malice. Don't have Black Spindle at this point. I'm just rocking my 1,000-yard stare and like a hung jury or something. So I go in, and I know what I have to do. They're like get the sniper, or get the snipers on the thing during Daughters, and it's that. So like I'm hitting my shots, and we keep having a wipe. And there's this one dude who's just complete shithead to everybody. He's like, you don't have a Black Spindle. This is your fault. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm the one hitting the shots with a 1,000-yard stare, and I'm a garbage sniper. I saw you miss 3 on yours. Don't call me out like that. And it was just like, after a while, I was like, all right, guys, I got to go to bed. I'm done. And I just left because
it's toxic.
It makes it not enjoyable, and like that's again, like you said, that's what we're playing. We're playing to have a fun time. So if everybody's past the point of no return, sometimes it's just best to call it and say, look, we'll come back at it tomorrow.
Right.
But regardless of how bad it is, this is another one I had. I always try, if I have to leave or whatever, to say something before I leave, like, all right, guys, I'm done. I gotta go, or I try not to just dip out because we've had that.
Ghost 'em.
Yeah,
no Irish goodbyes.
Yeah. Well, it's different. It depends too, because some players are like that. They're just like, all right, we finished the raid, and they're just out because they got to go, And you get it from playing with people for a while. So a couple of my clanmates are like that. You finish, and they're like, oh, he's out. See you later, And it's nothing personal with him. But there's a couple of times I've been in raid groups where it's like we're having a rough time, and then middle of somebody just after a wipe, somebody just dips out and there's nothing else, and it's like, wow, that's a surefire way to not get invited.
Well, yeah, and you're kind of like, are you coming back, or like did your internet shoot out, or did you just leave?
Yeah, so and then like we usually see them online afterwards, and we're like, oh, okay, I see how it is. And I think the last one that I had is like it's actually 2 that kind of comes in. playing music or like background noise or joining a party and talking about other stuff when you see people are in a raid or in trials.
Yeah. Don't be the
That happens
seventh
to me a
member of the
lot.
party. Do
Yes.
not be the
A lot.
seventh member.
There was this one time where I was playing trials with I think it was Gray Fox and Super Supra or somebody, and so like we're in the middle of a trials match, and like our buddy Sire jumps in, and he's like, "Oh, you guys are really intense with trials right now. I'll see you later," and he ducks out. So it was cool. And then I think somebody else like jumps in and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And we're like, "Hey, playing trials." And then they started talking about Final Fantasy 15 or something. We're like, dude, we're not like we're kind of
Trials.
busy. Love you like a brother, but you got to go, man. Like not when we're playing trials. We're already getting our asses stomped. So I just thought it was a really interesting thing because everybody's got different levels of comfort and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So don't be a dick, or else you're gonna get kicked. The only thing I don't know. Okay, so I feel like we're perpetuating that salt though, because like
Yeah,
you're an asshole, so I kick you out of the party, and then you're like, fucking Destiny fucking sucks. I always get people just kick you out of the party, you fucking dumb shit, and just we're creating monsters.
yeah, but you know what, man? I've seen like I'm in that giant ass Facebook group, the 30,000 people one that Mesa Sean is an admin for. That's where I found my clan, and for every success story in there, there's like five or six that are just not, you know, and a lot of it I think has to do with people's attitudes. There's a lot of people who just have trash attitudes to start with, and those are the people that always get kicked. Those are the people
Yeah.
like Big Bear. My de facto clan leader, Big Bear, does a shitload of Sherpaing, and he was doing Moments of Triumph, or no, Age of Triumph, Moments of Triumph, whatever the year two one was. I think it was Moments of Triumph raid carries, and he was saying like, you know, he threw up a post in that group, and he's like, if you need King's Fall hard mode, post here. I'm going to try and get people through it for their Moments of Triumph. And he's like, if somebody else offers help, take it because I'm only one person with one group and I can't take care of all, 30,000 who need it in this group or whatever. So it was cool. So like I sent him a message, and this is actually how we met. We started chatting over like Facebook Messenger, or maybe it wasn't Facebook Messenger, maybe it was PSN. Either way, like him and I were talking, and he was telling me like he was getting down to the people who were just assholes. They were just like demanding things from him, and he's like, dude, I'm helping you out. Like the least you could do is show a little bit of like, you know, courtesy. And people, it's always, but I mean, it's always the same people. It's not anything new. They'd be monsters one way or another.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it's chicken. It's one of those chicken or egg questions. You know what I mean?
Did you become an asshole because I kicked you, or did I kick you because you're an asshole?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just be nice. If you're in a fire team, be nice and
Golden rule.
have fun.
Golden rule. You can apply
Yeah.
it to everything.
Seriously.
So, because I got like two questions. I kind of gonna do a origins little theme here. Theme questions. Origins.
Huh?
Barely a Destiny show. Origin theme questions. I need to stop talking like this. What made you guys into a gamer?
Jeez.
I mean, if you want, I'll start. I've been thinking about this like the whole week, and I love just springing this kind of stuff on you guys because it makes you have shitty answers and I have a better answer.
Go ahead.
But I was thinking about it because like I definitely now would classify myself as like a gamer. I fucking love video games, but I really wasn't like this when I was younger. Because I mean, like growing up, Steve and I had we had
All the
the regular,
Nintendos.
yeah, we had the regular Nintendo, and I would like point blank duck hunt it,
Yeah, because you were like 2.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, we've been playing Nintendo ever since then. We had did we have a PS1?
Yes.
Well, we got that like late though. Like
Yeah, we did.
not when it came out. I remember my best friend had a PS1, and we had like the Nintendo 64,
Hmm.
and he was like,
That one we got right when it came out.
yeah, we got Nintendo 64 right when it came out, and that was dope. But I was trying to pinpoint when it was that I really started getting into video games, and I like not even in high school did I play a lot. Like I would play like Halo with my like. Keep this in mind. I didn't have internet, like
Yeah,
high speed
dial up
internet.
forever.
Yeah, I was 19. This is 2009 when I got high speed internet. And that's when I started playing like Halo Reach and stuff like that, and that was pretty cool. But even then, still, I think, well, actually, that's it. That's about when I started to become, I think, a real gamer. Because after that is when I started getting really into playing Fallout all the time, and I would just, I mean, growing up without internet, I would just fucking go crazy on the single player like long campaign games. I got really into Mass Effect, and I think that's probably what would classify me as a gamer. Yeah, Scott, your typing is really loud.
Oh shit! Sorry. Whoops.
Yeah, I think Mass Effect is what really brought it like over the edge for me, and what turned me into a gamer. That's my favorite series. By the way,
Oh, you got it.
I borrowed it from
Oh,
this guy that's
awesome.
staying with us right now. So if anybody wants to buy me Mass Effect, I'd still want it. Yeah, I think like that is what kind of got me started as to being like a real gamer, and then Destiny is what pushed me over the edge and made me a fucking nerd about it. What about you guys?
I could go. All right, so we had all the Nintendos or whatever, and we played them, but yeah, like Ben said, it wasn't really a thing. I think what jump started it, like the very beginning for me, was Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Pokemon, because that happened for me at the exact same time. Um, so that got me going, and like it just from there was just like RPGs all the way RPGs. I played Final Fantasy, and it just kind of grew into that. And then around eighth grade is when I think I became an actual like classifiable gamer. When I here it comes started playing EverQuest, um, and I played the shit out of that series for over a decade,
Yeah, on
and
dial-up too.
dial up for a long time. Played all through college, even played after college, and then so I was a PC gamer guy, and then I played Star Wars: The Old Republic, which was a lot of fun for like a year, but that I max leveled two characters in less than a year, and it just kind of got old pretty quick. They didn't have enough end game, but BioWare put out a really great MMO, gotta say.
Yeah,
Um,
I know you're a huge Mass Effect fan too.
yes, and a huge Mass Effect fan. That's what I was getting to. Is Mass Effect is what pulled me back into consoles. Um, I probably beat the original Mass Effect 10, 15 times. You know, it's the
Nice.
first game that I've played over and over and over and over again. Um, but I've never been a shooter guy. I hated Halo. I hated Call of Duty, just because it's just not my thing. But then Ben tried to get me to get Destiny and a PS4 forever. And then when I finally did, I succumbed because my best friend James had Destiny 2, and I was just like, I don't like shooters. I don't like shooters. I don't like shooters, and I love it. So Destiny's bridging the gap. That's why I think it's so great. But yeah, EverQuest turned me into a gamer and taught me how to type fast.
And hopefully quietly. Ayo, burn!
Yeah.
Roasted.
Uh,
All right, Scott.
well, I started playing. My story is a little different. I started playing back, like we'd go to my cousin's house and we'd play the Nintendo they had, Mario and Duck Hunt, and it was always cool, but it was never really a thing. Then one Christmas, my parents got me and my brother Sega Genesis, had Sonic the Hedgehog with it. So we were big Sega gamers all through that. They had a quad racing game, which we loved because we grew up on ATVs, which was great. Um, and so, like, we just kind of progressed from there. We had Genesis and Sega CD. I was big into Sewer Shark on Sega CD. That was like a favorite game of mine. I finally beat it and I lost my mind. It was so fun. Um, then we got a PS1, and like it was always like my brother and I passing the controller back and forth, or we'd take turns. Like I get 1 hour block, he gets a 1 hour block, whatever. That went to eventually to PS2. I had my own PS2 in college and played just basically like action games, kind of beat 'em up. Wasn't really a big shooter guy. I did third person shooters a lot, just because I was bad at FPS, and I'm still not great. But I bought a Xbox 360 off of a friend who had a spare one. He's like, dude, you got to play with us. I'll give it to you for $50. So I bought that. That kind of started me. I played Call of Duty on that. Hated Call of Duty. It was terrible. Just everything between the game mechanics and the environment. I didn't even play the campaign. I was just like, this is the most boring shit ever. And I'm not a big fan of realistic FPS because it's like it's real life, and real life can get depressing enough as it is on its own sometimes. Just like too much. So and then my buddy Gray Fox turned me on to Borderlands on PS3, and so we played that at his house like late nights after we get out of work at FedEx. We'd go over on Fridays and just play till like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then go home and go to bed. So I got Borderlands on 360 and played that a shit ton, like 2 or 3 times through. And he was constantly bugging me. He's like, dude, you got to get PS4. You got to get Destiny. You got to get Destiny. And I played vanilla, not knowing anything about it. Again, I'd go over to his house to hang out, and we pass the controller back and forth. He had a Titan in year one, so we'd just go back and forth. And I'm like, I like this game, but it's not as entertaining as Borderlands, because Borderlands has like this sense of humor, and there's all this other stuff. So then fast forward, and it was time for me to upgrade. I had some birthday and Christmas money last year, 2 years ago, maybe now. No, last year. So I went and put the money down on a PS4, and I wanted the Star Wars Battlefront one. And I'm like, all right. I was up to like an hour and a half, 2 hours away for the closest bundle. And I'm like, shit, this is getting ridiculous. So I went down to one of my local department stores. I forget which one. And I was looking at their bundles, and they had whatever the Disney game is with the little figures.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what the name of it is.
They just discontinued. Maybe it's similar to Skylanders, but I forget the name. So like they had one of those, and then I was looking at that. I'm like, well, it's cool. It's kind of a kid game, but I like kid games sometimes. You can be Star Wars characters, but you have to buy the characters to unlock them.
Disney Infinity.
And yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. And so I'm like, I want to play as Darth Vader or Boba Fett if I'm playing Star Wars, and you have to buy them for an extra like $20 a pop or some nonsense. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So then they had Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 or whatever the latest Black Ops 3, that one. I'm like, fuck that. I hate
of those.
Call of Duty. So then I saw Destiny, and I'm like, well, I played Destiny with Mike a few times. It was fun enough. Or Gray Fox, just so everybody.
You said his name.
I was like, all right, I know Gray Fox plays this. I'm like, I could probably play that with him. I'll get Borderlands and Star Wars Battlefront just in case. So I immediately, sent him a text message the night I brought it home and got it hooked up. And he went to rent Star Wars Battlefront, got it to install on his system while he went to Walmart or something to buy it. And we played that for probably 2 weeks to a month. And then he's like, dude, you got to get on Destiny. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It looks cool, but I'm having fun flying around the X-Wing and shooting stuff. He's like, no, you got to get on Destiny. So I started playing Destiny with him. And it was a kind of a casual thing at first, but I mean, once I started getting into it more and playing, and then it was Ghost Stories and Crucible Radio were the first two podcasts that I listened to, because the Wi-Fi and Spotify was fucked up at work one day. They're like, all right. So I started listening to those. I'm like, holy crap, there's a ton of stuff here. And it's just been like an obsession since then. I love, technical things. My real life job, I do some web design and development stuff. So coding. One of my huge hobbies is like working on cars, so like anything that involves like that technical mind, it's sort of the whole build mentality with Destiny and characters like that. It's hard for people to grasp, but as soon as I got that, I'm like, I'm all about this game. This is fantastic. And I started like putting connecting things and putting things together, and I'm like, this is amazing. So that really is what spurred the obsession on.
Cool.
Okay. Hey, real quick, along with that, what's the first game you ever beat all the way through?
Oh shit.
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, for me, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist on Sega Genesis. I think there was like 5 levels, and my brother and I were playing co-op, and it was like a side-scrolling beat 'em up with Ninja Turtles, so it was
Mhm.
perfect at the time. And so we get to the end, and it's like Super Shredder or something. So we fight Krang, we fight whoever, and then Super Shredder comes out, and we both die. And then we bring on our, because we had it split. So like he had Donatello and Raphael, and I had Leonardo and Michelangelo, because we wanted like short range, long range, and we each wanted our favorite. So so like I had Leonardo was my favorite. So as soon as Michelangelo died because he'd do the kamikaze nunchuck thing, I did that and hit him like shit. So my brother's on his last character. He's all left. I bring in Leonardo, and then we beat it, and we're just like we lost our mind. It's like, oh my god! My mom's like, what happened? We're like, we just beat the game, Mom. We just beat the game. She's like, that's great. Hey?
Oh, wow.
I think the first game I ever beat was Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh,
Oh,
PS1.
that's good.
Yeah.
PSX.
I didn't fucking beat anything as a kid. I was so shit at video games. It's actually, I will say that was one of my proudest moments though, was when I finally beat Steve at Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and then eventually he's just like, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah, not really my game.
I was like, I
only
win,
played-
little brother, yes.
I only ever played the first 2, I think.
Yeah, I played the shit out of that whole series.
Mhm. But,
Shout out to Skate, that game's awesome.
First-
what actually? Oh, sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
My first game was the Super Nintendo Power Rangers game.
I
Which was a
remember that.
side-scrolling beat 'em up. I was in 3rd grade.
That game is stupid fucking hard. I'm still trying to beat that game. I can't get past the 3rd level. I'm serious. I'm so bad at it. Like, fucking Power Rangers. Fuck.
Some of those old games are really hard, like The Lion King. So hard. Why?
Dude, I was pissed. We were playing Aladdin the other day, and my brother-in-law, or almost brother-in-law, was over, and he's like, saw Aladdin was on there. He's like, oh shit, let's play this. And I was like, man, you could play Aladdin. I fucking hate that game. It's so hard. You just ripped through that game, just like flying, like speed run status. And I was like, I fucking hate you, dude. Have such a problem with that. So, we all play guitar here. How'd you guys get started playing guitar?
Oh man.
Of course I asked this question with like 17 minutes left in the show. Like, let's ask a long as fuck question.
No, mine's actually pretty simple. I played bass because I wanted to play. So everyone played guitar. I was like, I want to play bass. I don't play bass anymore. But in high school, there's this guy who's just like, he's a savant at guitar, and he still is. I keep seeing his videos and stuff, and he's just like, oh, sweeps in this thing, just what the hell. Ben, you know who I'm talking about.
Was it Robbie?
No, it's
Robbie's a beast at guitar.
yeah, but Robbie's also a beast at bass. This guy's just a guitar. It was the Blank Brothers band because his brother played drums.
Gotcha.
Yep. Anyway, so he played a song on guitar at like the band camp dance or something. I don't know. It was stupid.
Band Camp Talent Show. I remember.
Yeah. And I
wasn't there,
like
but whatever.
for some reason it rubbed me the wrong way, and I got pissed off. So went home and learned how to play the song on guitar. And I've been playing guitar ever since. It was "Island in the Sun" by Weezer.
What guitar did you learn how to play that on?
Man,
I don't remember if you got a guitar first or if I got a guitar first.
I think it was your guitar. I didn't have it because I had a bass.
Yeah. Okay. So that'll tie into mine. This is gonna like complete the story, both sides of this. So that's how you learned how to play guitar. That's how you started.
Yeah, I was like, I rage learned "Island in the Sun." 'Cause everyone thought this kid This kid
I
was
rage
so
when I do
good at guitar because he could play Island in the Sun. I was like, that can't even be hard. So I learned how to play it, and it wasn't hard.
Yeah, that's
But this dude is insane good at guitar. So
so that same bass that Steve started on is what I started on. And at the time I was listening to, like, I remember Thursday, I was listening to that band a ton. So I was just like, I thought that I was playing the songs, and in reality I was just playing the melody on bass. So I would just noodle around and, like, learned how to play the melody to a bunch of Thursday songs, and then, like, I think I learned a Mest song. I don't know if you guys remember that band. Fucking
Oh,
tap dance, seat back, rolling in my Cadillac.
I think I saw them once. They weren't good.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking bad. So sorry if anybody out there likes Mest, but I fucking don't. But then I got a guitar because I was listening to Dashboard Confessional all the time.
hmm
And the first song I learned how to play was Places You've Come to Fear the Most. And, like, I think about that sometimes, and that song is, like, it's not cowboy chords, it's not basic shit at all. That's actually a pretty like difficult song as far as I don't know, chords. Like, you're just like, wow, these are chords that nobody uses. I don't remember, it might be in an alternate tuning as well. But I did that, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to be an acoustic guy. And then I was like, yeah, fuck this. I mean, I played drums first, and I kind of got sick of drums because I was like, you can't express anything really through drums. People get pissed at me, and they're like, yes, you can. Drums express emotion. I'm like, yeah, not like a fucking guitar does. Like,
No.
not even fucking close. But then I don't know, I used to just spend all day in my basement. That's where my room was. I was just hang out in the basement and learn, like, Taking Back Sunday and MXPX and just, like, as many fucking songs as I could. I would learn 3 or 4 songs a day and just sit down
Yeah.
there and play and play and play and play and play. So that's my advice to anybody that ever goes out and learns how to play guitar. If you aren't having fun just playing all fucking day, you're probably not going to be a good guitar player ever. You
Right.
have to enjoy the practice.
As a quick aside to that, I remember Ben started learning how to play guitar. I went to college for a year. Ben, this year, I think, at some point he did internet school. And I
Yeah.
came back from college, and he was just really good at guitar then. I was just like, wait a minute. How did you go from here to there that quick? And then
Nothing
it
but
was like,
playing.
all I did since I was internet school, it was really easy. So all I did was play guitar. Because we
Yeah.
didn't have internet. That's what happens when you don't have
Nice.
fast internet.
Yeah. Everybody else was playing Halo and Halo 2. I was just like, tabs.
Yep.
I'm waiting 10 minutes to learn how to play this song, so I'm going to learn it.
Mm-hmm. Fucking,
Yeah.
yeah. You print them off, learn how to play, like, thrice and stuff. Scott, how'd you get started playing guitar?
That's exactly how I got started playing guitar. I used to play trumpet when I was like in grade school and middle school, so I knew a little bit about music. But I always wanted to play guitar. I'd see it in like I don't know, Toys R Us or something. Like there was some toy catalog my mom used to have right around Christmas, and it was like a red Fender Strat copy. It wasn't a real guitar.
First
it was
act.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, not even a real guitar, so it wasn't first act?
No, I don't think so. I think it was like one of the plastic ones with strings, but I was just like, that's fucking sweet. I want to do that. And so fast forward a bunch of years, my brother gets a guitar and he starts teaching himself. So I was going back and forth between bass, my younger brother, because I'm the oldest of 3. So I'm like, I should really do that as well. And I was really into like skate punk, Pennywise and stuff at the time.
Mhm.
So like, that's what we do. We both got guitars and we started playing using tabs, So like, and then he went a little more towards stuff like Thrice, and I stayed like Pennywise, and then graduated to Rancid, and then Social Distortion, and then from there on, now I just play like Ramones and Cocksparrer, and like I
So you're
don't play. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so you're saying your brother listens to better music than you do.
Hey, saying that with some of my friends will get you beat up because he's almost got. Yeah, he almost got beat up a few times. He's like shit talking. I think it was him and my bass player were like talking shit after a practice one time, and he I forget what he said, but John was like, "I'm gonna fucking fight your brother," and I'm like, "Dude, don't fight my brother. Not at my house." And he's like, "Whatever he's a dick." I was like, "So are you, man. Like, don't antagonize." So
So you're playing a bunch of punk music, and
Yeah, pretty much, man.
that's awesome.
That's where it started. That's where it is. I actually started playing acoustic more now, and my wife and I were talking about it the other night. Like, when's a good time to start introducing a baby to like guitar and because she plays piano. She's
Now.
amazingly musically talented. She's done composition and stuff like that before. So she's much better than I am in anything. I tell people all the time, I'm just an idiot who plays power chords and shouts into a mic. So it's a miracle that anybody wants to listen to my band.
Dude, I'm gonna have to like hang out with your wife and talk about music theory. That's like one of my favorite things to talk about because I went to school and learned all that shit. But oh, I was listening to a different podcast the other day, and they were talking about music theory on that podcast, and I was just like, oh, my heart.
Shit.
I love
That's cool.
talking about seventh chords resolving, and like the flavor of a ninth chord. You're just like, ooh.
It's so funny, man, because like she's written music and composed music and stuff in high school, but then she hasn't gone back because she went to school to be a vet tech. And so she's been like doing that. But I mean, she's got an amazing voice. She plays piano. And she's just so much more musically talented than me. So like when we first, that's actually how we met. We first started dating because she's, saw how much I liked music and I was into a band. She's like, she loved music and it was like polar opposites because she listens to like vocal stuff and show tunes and like Broadway things. And I'm like, straight up Motorhead and Ramones. But she'd like hang out with us sometimes at band practice and things like that. And she'd watch us like putting stuff together as far as music goes. And she's like, that was probably the most fascinating thing I've ever seen because I only know the one side of it. I've never seen how like other people sort of put together music and how like, underground like punk bands or whatever. And like how that all sort of comes together. So it's like a totally different world she didn't know about. And that's kind of like how we got together and sort of, one of the things we've had in common since.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So speaking of music, what have you guys been listening to this week?
Go for it, Steve.
Podcasts.
Gates?
Actually. I don't know if I've listened to Gates this week. I listened to a little Microwave, a little bit of Lions, and some on Swoon. But yeah, I got 2 podcasts in this week. So I listened to the RNG Cast and Dad Tales.
Oh, man.
I don't really get to listen
So
to very many, but
You listened to like 4 podcasts this week then? Because you listened to RNG Cast and...
I didn't make it all the way through the RNG Cast. I think I still had like 45 minutes left. So that means I listened to a good hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was good though. It was really good.
Yeah. I mean, as far as podcasts go, I listened... I don't know. Nerd Poker is back. Brian Posehn, stand-up comedian,
Yeah.
does a D&D podcast called Nerd Poker, and that's back, and I fucking have missed that show so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny. And then Improv for Humans. Matt Besser, he's an improviser, does stuff with... he's like a UCB guy. And while I think that the UCB show on CISO is one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my entire life, his improv podcast is super fucking funny. And there's always like a lot of people, like if you go to the Earwolf website, whenever, like he has guests on every week, and the guests, they'll have their picture up there. And you're like, holy shit, I know that guy, I know that guy, I know that guy, I know that guy. And like a lot of them are super fucking funny. I've been listening to that for actually like probably 2 years now. If you guys have a chance, go check out their 420 episode. I have not laughed that hard in a very long time.
Who are the guests on it?
Oh, fuck.
Or is the guest?
I'll bring up the guest. I'll look it up here in a sec after I do
Okay.
this. But music-wise, shout out to Narwolf. He showed me this band, Columbus. You can find them at columbusmusic.bandcamp.com. They're not from Ohio. They're from Australia. But they're, like, Scott, you would really like this first song on their EP, Home Remedy.
Narwolf?
No, Columbus Music.
Columbus Music, okay.
Narwolf is the suggester.
Yeah, Narwolf suggested it.
Ah, okay.
Remember,
All
he
right.
sent us emails. He's a homeboy.
Yeah.
So he sent me that, and like that band's really fucking sweet. And then, the Great Dismal is the other band he sent me, and I was listening to them, and I was like, man, I feel like these are fake drums, and it fucking was. I was right. They're two people, and it's a guy and a girl. They both sing, and it's so good. Like it's
Mates of State.
No. It's I mean, like Mates of State is sweet, but that's like cutesy.
Yeah.
Like if you like
Yeah.
Mates of State, you'll like Slingshot Dakota. But they're like kind of like heavier emo. I don't want to say screamo because it's definitely not that. But it's just like rockin' music, rockin' emo stuff, dude. It's super good. They have an EP called Clay Manor. So if you go and check them out, it's The Great Dismal, DISMAL, .bandcamp.com. Shoot, I was supposed to look up who was on that episode. Scott, what have you been listening to this week?
Well, I actually have been listening to a lot of podcasts and also music because I don't really talk to anyone all day at my job.
Same.
We have a group chat going, like company stuff. So like, I am back and forth. Other than the meeting, we don't really like actually talk. So I spend a lot of time with my headphones on. I made it through the new Ghost Stories episode, which is the part 2 of Vault of Glass.
Oh yeah,
Cosmology was on there with they're talking quantum mechanics. My fucking brain was broken from that. I went back to do something, and I'm just like, I can't like. I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck he just said. So that was a super interesting episode.
and they still didn't even get into the vault yet.
Yeah,
Like they got up to the door for part 2.
Yes, that was the door episode. So that was super interesting. RNG Cast was fucking hilarious this week. I listened to them.
Subcult was on it this week, right?
Yes, Subcult was on it. He was pretty good. So there's like a handful of, the usual podcasts. Crucible Radio is pretty good. And then usually I'll do that. I'll listen to like 1 or 2 podcasts in the morning, and then I'll switch over to music the rest of the day. So as far as music goes, it's been a little bit of like a random. There's a new Coxbar record out. So if you like the old English, like Clash style punk rock, and you like Coxbar, that new record is fucking awesome. I listened to H2O this week, The Interrupters, who are like a ska punk band from Los Angeles, similar to the vein of Rancid, which, speaking of, Rancid put out a new track, and I wasn't too... It's good, but it's not, like, great. But they're coming out with a new album in June, so I'm really hoping that's going to be awesome. Because their last one, it took a while to warm up, so I'm thinking this one might be the same for me.
Rancid's
and then,
on tour right now.
Are they really?
Oh no, sorry. They're not on tour right now, but they are going on tour at the end of July.
Nice.
And I
hopefully
think they're going to be with Bouncing Souls.
Oh shit, that's going to be a crazy show. Maybe I'll make a trip to Boston or something, visit some friends, because that's always a good time.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. I was like, I feel like Rancid's coming to town now.
That's good. And at the gym this week, I usually try to listen to like Sick of It All or Motorhead, something like where I can just turn it up and sort of focus. But this week I pulled out some... What's that?
Oh, gym music for me is like Between the Buried and Me.
Nice. Yeah, I've been doing Motorhead and Sick of It All. But this week I pulled out a couple oldies. H2O was one of them. I just put it on shuffle on Spotify, and they were like super... It was good because it was kind of a shit day, and I needed that positivity that they bring. So like that really helped me. And then I pulled out an old record from a Boston band in the 90s called The Trouble. And they do a song called We're the Blood. And it's like it's like a really covered song in like the oi and hardcore scenes. And like, I remember hearing the covers before I actually heard that song. Like, who the fuck does that? And somebody said The Trouble. I'm like, who the fuck are they? And then somebody gave me the record, and I was like, these guys are awesome. Mm-hmm. And then to round it out, 2 connected but random ones, listen to a lot of MC Lars and K-Flay. Just because they got really interesting like beats and arrangement and stuff. It's like half that weird, almost video game music, half like stuff that could be done by a live band. And then I like their lyrics because it's really it's like intelligent and interesting. And if you like, it's one of those things where like they're throwing constant references down to other stuff. And you're like, wait, what the hell was that? And I look it up later and I learn something. So it's kind of cool.
Cool. Yeah, that Rancid show, they're going to be in, I thought it was Boston, but it's Brockton, Massachusetts.
That's the same thing.
Okay, so
Brockton's like the shitty area of Boston, apparently.
The punk rock area of Boston.
I looked at
it's
it and was
worse.
like,
It's worse now.
August 5th, they'll be in Brockton, Massachusetts, and then they're going to be in New York on August 6th at the Ford Amphitheater.
I'll have to check that out.
So there, I got something for you, Scott.
Speaking of shows, what's the first show you've ever been to? Ben and mine is the same, but Scott?
That's a good one. I was going to there's like a local venue around here. Every town has like their own CBGBs that covers like all sorts of underground rock. And so ours was Valentine's. May it rest in peace. I grew up at that place. I love that place. It's actually a 2-part show because the Friday night I went to see Boy Sets Fire. And that was like the first hardcore show I ever been to. It was insane. I was like 16 or 17, something like that. And it was just people diving off the stage, and they played Rookie, and people went fucking nuts. So I was like, this is amazing. And then the next night, this is back in like 2000, the next night I went to see Catch-22 and AFI. They were touring together. And that was like a totally different experience, but the same intensity and craziness. So, I mean, really, those are the first like actual shows I went to, and those are definitely kind of what set the tone for like me getting more involved in music.
Yeah.
Ours was Saves the Day. So
with kind
emo
of
boy
like
from the
spitting,
start.
and Saturdays seems good to me.
Saturday looks good to me.
Looks good to me. Right.
Actually,
So
that was
it's like-
really cool. I was talking to I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Hey Mercedes or Braid or Bob Nana.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Nana was in both those bands in Braid and Hey Mercedes, but a long time ago I did an interview with him, and I was talking about that show, and he was like, "Oh my God," he's like, "Saturday looks good." We're talking nerding out about Kind of Like Spitting because that's one of the bands. It's like one dude wrote all of it. And I was like, yeah, it was Saves the Day, Kind of Like Spitting, and Saturday Looks Good to Me. And we both kind of like said that at the same time. I don't know. I just had like a sweet moment with that guy. I was like, I thought no one knew about them, and then Bob did. What a professional.
Yeah,
Bob.
Saturday Looks Good to Me is a super indie band. That show is weird. And then Kind of Like Spitting is like emo-ish hardcore.
It's yelling.
It's yelling.
It's sweet,
and then
though.
Saves the Day, mellow punk, but that was a great show. And then the second one we ever went to was also probably like steered us in the same direction. It was Rufio, Sugar Cult, who else?
Slick
Ben?
Shoes.
Who were they? Slick Shoes.
Oh wow!
Oh no, Slick Shoes was at the MXPX show. My bad. It was
MXPX.
Rufio, Sugar Cult, and was it the Ataris?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Ataris.
Oh,
There was one
crap.
more too, though.
I don't remember.
I think I went to
don't
that
know.
tour actually.
That was dope. Oh, and when the show was over, this is sick as fuck. They were like, "Hey, show's over. Thanks for coming out." We were in it was at the Agora. We were in the small part of the Agora, and across the main hallway is the theater. They're like, across the hallway, Guar is playing, and
What?
they're letting us all go over there and just watch the rest of their
That's
show for
amazing.
free.
I mean, we walked over, looked at it for like 5 seconds, and we're like, all right, peace out.
Yeah, we had no idea what Guar was or anything like that, but
Oh,
like we
God.
went in there as like young. Ben was probably what,
8th grade.
14 or something like
I was
that.
13
13,
years old.
14. I was 16 or 17. We walk into Guar knowing nothing about them, and we're like metal is not even on our radar yet.
Dude, that was so funny because like me and him are so young. We're like, let's go to the pop punk show. We're here to see the Ataris. We show up at the Agora, and there's like 100 like 6'4" weightlifter looking dudes with spikes all over them and leathers, and we're like, did we come to the right show? Like,
Yeah.
what is happening here?
Oh man, those shows are so great. I love Guar. I didn't get into him though until after Dave Brocky died because I was like way into punk for a while, and then it was just like I started branching out after I got out of I didn't really get out of the band because we still play occasionally, but it's one of those things where like you stop hanging around with all the same people musically all the time, and so like then you start taking suggestions and hearing things, and it's like Spotify for one is like one of those things that sends you like the weekly update or whatever. So like I'll occasionally get bands from there. I'm like, oh, this is cool, and I'll listen to them more. That's how I got into MC Lars. That's actually how I got into Guar. I'm like, holy shit, like this is just insane metal. And at first I wasn't into it. I'm like, this is kind of like, and then I started listening to the words, and I'm like, this is a big fucking joke, isn't it? And I looked at it, I was like, Guar. So then I started looking up, and I'm like, oh, these guys. And some of the funniest YouTube videos I've ever seen are when they ask Guar on a show. And they don't go to the show to talk about their music or their band. They go in costume and in character. So it's not like Dave Brockie up there. It's Odorous Orungus or whatever, however you pronounce his name. And he's talking to some guy on like Fox and Friends about their new album. And he's like, yes, we're here to dominate Earth and murder all the Earthlings with, sex slime or something. And they're like, these people are like, oh, okay. And they're like trying to like not, trying to play it off as like something cool. Like, oh, okay. Like, yeah. And it's
how
just
interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And he's just got like spikes all over his shoulders and a like giant cuttlefish on his loincloth that like stands up at points. So it's fucking hilarious. I'm just like, that rules.
All right, guys. I think that's about as much time as we've got. Oh, wait. Fuck. I lied. We have one last segment, and that is listener. Well, what did I name it? Barely a Destiny Show Community Feedback Extravaganza or something like that. I'll come up with a new name for it next week as well.
Sure, we'll go with that.
So I posted today. I said, anyone have questions for us on the show today? Ask anything except pineapple on pizza. We won't answer that. Fuck that stupid ass question. That's
not allowed.
But we did get one, and that is from the Crimson and Keefe. I don't know. He says, why people debate that hot dogs aren't sandwiches when they clearly are. So that is my question to you guys. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
All right. I'm going to get philosophical here.
Oh, shit.
What determines a sandwich? Like, what makes a sandwich a sandwich?
Yeah. Is a sandwich meat and bread?
I don't think a sandwich has to have meat.
Oh, see, I forgot you're a vegetarian.
Or bread, necessarily.
No.
Lettuce wrap.
Wraps are not sandwiches.
All right. So there's a clarifier right there. Wraps don't count.
But if it's just meat and bread, then that means pizza is a sandwich, and pizza is not a sandwich.
Right?
He has a point.
Does it require that it's two pieces of bread? Because a hot dog bun is technically one piece folded.
Well, what about open face sandwiches? Are they sandwiches? You can get them at
still
diners.
two pieces of bread, though. There's still two pieces of bread.
Okay.
That's true.
Here's what I think. A hot dog is not a sandwich. Because fuck. Okay, a hot dog is not a sandwich, and it's predominantly because of the shape. But that brings more into question. Well, damn, because then, like, what about submarine sandwiches? Fuck.
That's true.
The Crimson and Keefe, you done fucked us up.
All right.
I don't care. Hot dog's not a sandwich. That's my final verdict.
I'm going to say it's not a sandwich for this reason. If it is a sandwich, it's the only sandwich that has a specific bun, like, named for just that. Like, a hot dog bun is for hot dogs, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could obviously use it for something else, but that's its intended purpose. Like, you can use every other kind of bread for whatever else you want to make, But a hot dog bun is a hot dog bun.
All right, Scott.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Steve on that one. Hot dogs are not sandwiches because if you take away the hot dog, what is it? It's not a hot dog anymore.
Oh, shit. Yeah, because you could take a hot dog bun and fill it with turkey and lettuce and mayo, and that's a turkey sandwich.
And then it's a sandwich.
Oh, my mind is fucking blown.
Steve's right.
All right, guys. That about wraps us up for today. I did want to give a shout out. RNG Cast is about to hit their 52nd episode, though, so that'll be 1 year of the RNG Cast being a thing.
Oh yeah.
We had Buster on a couple of weeks ago, and if you don't already listen to the RNG Cast, definitely go check them out. They're like what we do, but it's like 3 hours long.
And it's not boring. They keep the
Yeah.
entertainment up for
It
the
is.
whole
It's
time.
good. I mean, there are a bunch
It's
of fucking
fucking
nerds over there.
hilarious.
They watch a bunch of anime. Bunch of nerds. But I still love them. I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to be mean. I love those guys. I got to play with Buster a little bit on Saturday, and he's always a fucking riot to play with.
Oh, I can imagine.
You can find us on Twitter at barelyads. You can send us an email, barelyadestinyshow@gmail.com. Just ask us anything, man. We're like Reddit's AMA all the time.
So we just answered a question about if the hot dog was a sandwich for like 5 minutes. So please.
Again, please visit destinycontentcreators.com. Go to the suggest little page. It's like up at the top, a little drop-down menu. And suggest us as a podcast on destinycontentcreator.com. Creators.com. My bad. There's an S. We're going to be playing a little bit of Captain Avalanche, my old band. This is just kind of a side project that the guy, my friend Bill, plays guitar in Failed Astronauts now, but I met him because he wanted me to produce, hey, nice shirt. Bill wanted me to produce his solo project, and as soon as we started working on it, I just fell in love with it, and we're just kind of like, let's do this together. So this is an oldie, but we're going to play that. Other than that, I really can't think of much that's going on. Got some big stuff coming up.
Mayhem Clash Iron Banner.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So get ready for all the salt when Fusion Wolf comes out in full force and double sticks you. The Fusion Wolf is coming. We got some big stuff coming up in the next coming weeks. I will be gone for 2 weeks. Going on vacation. Hopefully going to go. Hopefully I might go visit Cad. If we can swing it,
nice.
I might be able to go see him, and that'll be fucking tight. We will have somebody filling in for me. Our good buddy Scary internet guy. I think he's going to be coming on the show. He's a good friend of ours. Mm-hmm. Other than that, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Podbean. You can find us on YouTube. It's under Det Ben Malone. Just type in Barely a Destiny Show. I've been making a playlist of all the old shows. So if you don't find our show on, say you want to listen to episodes like 1 through 6, they're not on podcast things anymore. They had to get deleted because we needed more room. But you can always go watch those on YouTube. Steve, where can people find you on the internet?
I can be found on PSN, Twitch, and Twitter at Xanafan711, Zanifan 711. Come check out my stream sometimes and leave me a follow. Say hi. I'd love to have you on there chatting.
Yeah, dude. I do like your streams. I scoped one out the other day.
I usually try and have people on with me, so it's like not just me talking. It's us goofing off most of the time. So, yeah, check it out.
Scott, where can people find you?
Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Slapshot Scott. The O's are zeros. PSN is Slapshot Fet. 0 is the O, 3 is the E, 19. If you are watching my stream and you see me standing and dancing for long periods of time on my Titan and not doing anything or hiding, I probably have my son, so I apologize in advance. Something had to get done, or he needed something, so I just kind of let my guardian have a dance party and go do my thing.
It seems to be when everyone starts watching is when you take a quick little bathroom break or
or you're
grab
like
a beer or something. And then you come back and
Yes.
there's like 3 people watching that weren't there before, and they just leave immediately because you're not doing anything.
I streamed a little bit yesterday, and I had some people jump in while I was checking what emblems I had, and then going to Able Levante to just be like, okay, which ones can I buy? But I got it. I got flying colors. So
Nice.
I got that done. I don't have to buy fucking emblems anymore. Now I just have to do shaders. Yeah. So check us out next week, 2 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/DetBenMalone. And again, you can always find us on your podcast listening preference application. Jesus.
Everything but Google Play, basically.
Look,
so
you can
far.
if you go to our Twitter, our RSS feed is on there. Click on it; it'll open it up in whatever podcasting app you have, as long as it's not Stitcher or Google Play, and you can just listen to it that way. Until next week, be the light that you want to see in others.
Oh.
Isn't that nice? I've got a thing now, and I ruined it by talking after it.
Say it again, and then that's our shtick.
Okay. Yeah, until next week, we have been Barely a Destiny show, and remember to be the light that you want to see in others. We're going to play some Captain Avalanche. Y'all have a great night. Day. Whenever you listen to it. Fuck it. See ya.
Summertime, Bill.
Summertime Bill.
Summertime.
Summertime Bill. I love this reverb.
There are people everywhere I've never met before. And I think it's time to deny my responsibilities just for one night. We go down to the harbor, pass around a bottle to share with some new friends, and go places I've never been, and sleep. Well, I'm afraid to wake up now, this all go away. The sand, the sea, the early morning breeze, my life, my friends, even my enemies. I'll miss everything. Stay asleep, you'll never leave, as long as I never open my eyes again. Just never open my eyes again. I find myself this drunk on a Thursday night, no place to go, in a foreign home. All the strangers in this bar are gone, but nobody has left. I think that we should go. I think that you're wrong. Tell me this isn't time. So leave here, so leave here. Tell me that I'm fine. Have a couple of drinks with my new friends. Do some things I'll regret, then do it all again. Have a couple of drinks with my new friends.
You know, it's all hustle, no luck on that Captain Avalanche, you know what I mean?